In part two of this crash course, we are going to take a look at exactly how the college admissions process works under the hood. So before we hop into the nuances and specifics of the college admissions framework, allow me to tell you how this was developed. So when I was a private admissions coach, I had to help many students and parents develop an appropriate understanding of how the admissions process actually worked from the other side. And to that end, I talked to many admissions officers and directors to develop what this framework looks like. Now, while not every university is the same, this framework is generally a good mental model to have in your head when you're approaching the admissions process. I vetted this with the officers and directors that I talked to, so you can be fairly confident that this is a good way to approach college admissions with an understanding of how it actually works. The framework is best summarized as a three-step process. It is a funnel that leads to a sieve that drops into a basket. And so your application starts at the top. And if it's able to make it through this entire process and into the basket at the bottom, then congratulations, you're accepted. So the question is, how do you actually get to the basket? Well, that's a great question. Let's first look at the funnel. So the funnel is the first step in the process. And this is where universities are going to determine what type of academic rigor you are ready to handle. And they're going to understand that by looking at three important pieces in your application. The first is the courses that you chose to take throughout your high school career relative to what your high school offers. The second is the grades that you actually received in those classes. And then the third are your standardized test scores if the university takes them. And so overall, there are no cutoffs in terms of any university that I'm aware of, at least. There's no university that is out there thinking, well, our cutoff is 1350, and because this student received a 1340, they're ineligible for university. That's realistically not how this process works. But what they will do is they will look at these three pieces of your application to piece together whether you are the right academic fit for that university. And if you are, then congratulations, you're through the funnel and on to the next step, which is the sieve. But if you aren't, then realistically you will fall outside of the funnel and you will be, for all intents and purposes, not admitted to the university. Now there's actually good news here. The good news is that students and parents that are overly stressed about should I take 8 APs or 11 APs, realistically, it doesn't matter. Because all you need to show is that you meet the academic rigor to be the proper academic fit for the university. But once you're past the funnel and onto the sieve, none of that matters. Ultimately, when you get to the sieve, which is the penultimate step of the admissions process, no university is weighing candidates thinking this person took 8 APs, this person took 9 APs. Realistically, again, that's not happening. So once you get through the funnel and show that you meet the academic criteria for the university, you no longer need to worry about going through all these different hoops and jumps and taking so many different APs. Once you meet that threshold, it's all moot after that. And really the important part is part two, which is the sieve. It's called the sieve because you can quite literally imagine an admissions officer standing there with a sieve, watching as applications are falling through the funnel part. So they're already through the first stage, and these applications have already shown that they are sufficiently academically rigorous to meet the university standards. And now the admissions officer is standing there, shaking the sieve as applications are coming in, waiting for fine grains of sand to fall down and ultimately into the basket where they are accepted. So the question is, how do you prove that you are a fine grain of sand? Well, ultimately, it's all about answering the question, are you the right fit for the university? That's everything from showing that you can take advantage of the university's unique resources to go achieve your dreams, or maybe you'll be enriching the university's unique culture and adding to the other undergraduates' lives that are around you. These are the types of things that you need to be showing in your application, and that's also why I've boxed this sieve part in big bright red, because this is ultimately the hardest part. A lot of students end up over-indexing on the funnel, trying to take an extra AP or two to impress an admissions officer. But you have to understand that your goal here is not to impress the officer. It is to make the admissions officer understand that you are the perfect fit for the university, that they are the candidate that they are looking for. And so that's why in the bottom left of your screen, I have bolded and underlined, essays make or break your application, because that is how you show fit. It's not the APs that you've taken. It's not the standardized test scores that you've achieved. It's how your authentic self comes through in the essays that you write. And so that's everything from your personal statement combined with the supplemental essays that you need to write for that university. And so whoever you are, whatever makes you the perfect fit for this university, that's what needs to shine through. And ultimately, that's where you should be focusing your energy on. So ultimately, by now, you should have a really great mental model of how to approach the college admissions process, but more importantly, where you should be focusing your energy and where you might be unnecessarily stressing yourself out.